We live in a world obsessed with the idea of listening. We are told, just listen to the woman, do what she says, give her what she asks for, and you will be the ideal man, and your relationship will be heaven on earth. It sounds logical, it sounds fair, and it is the greatest trap that millions of men fall into, condemning themselves to loneliness or, even worse, to relationships full of contempt and coldness. Brace yourselves, because today we are going to shatter one of the most persistent myths of modern culture. We are going to talk about the fundamental gap between what a woman says she wants and what she biologically and psychologically needs in order to feel love, attraction, and safety. You have surely seen this, or perhaps you have lived it yourself. The man who does everything right. He brings flowers. He agrees with her every opinion. He avoids conflicts. He asks, "Honey, where do you want to go? What do you want to do?" He turns into the perfect executor of her desires. And what happens? First, she smiles. Then, she starts to get bored. Then irritation sets in. And eventually, she leaves for someone who seems like the complete opposite of this perfect guy. Someone who doesn't ask for permission, who sometimes argues, who sets his own rules. Why does this happen? Because want and need are two different universes. Want is sugar. It is a momentary whim, a conscious construction formed by rom-coms and social media. Need is protein. It is the foundation, an evolutionary necessity hardwired into the limbic system of the brain. If you feed a woman only the sugar of her desires, she will get emotional diabetes. Today we will learn to see the difference. We will break down why satisfying all female whims is the fastest way to kill attraction, and what is actually hidden behind the female request for a strong man. Let's start with the harsh truth. People, and women in particular, are often unreliable narrators of their own needs. This doesn't mean they are lying intentionally. It means they are describing their fantasies, not their attraction triggers. When you ask a woman what kind of man she wants, she will give you a socially approved list. I want someone kind, gentle, understanding, sensitive, someone who will carry me in his arms and agree with me. This is a description of a safe partner. This is a description of a girlfriend. On a conscious level, this sounds appealing because it promises comfort. But attraction does not live in the comfort zone. Attraction lives in the zone of tension, in the zone of polarity. A woman's want is often dictated by her current emotional state. In a moment of stress, she wants to be pitied. In a moment of joy, she wants a celebration. Her desires are like the weather, they change 10 times a day. And if a man starts chasing these desires, trying to satisfy every single one, he turns into a weather vane. The problem is that a weather vane cannot be a support. A weather vane spins with the wind, and a woman, especially during her emotional storms, does not need another leaf in the wind. She needs the trunk of a tree. She needs a rock. When a man literally follows the instruction, "Give me what I want," he makes a fatal mistake. He hands over leadership by asking, "What do you want? How do you want it? Can I do this?" He is effectively saying, "I don't know where we are going. Lead me." And in that moment, at a deep, subconscious level, an alarm bell goes off in the woman. Her biological programming, honed by thousands of years of evolution, screams, "This male is weak. He cannot make decisions. It is not safe with him." Even if verbally she asks for exactly that, the right to decide. This is the paradox that drives men crazy. She demands power, but as soon as she gets it, she loses interest in the one who gave her that power. Because deep down, she doesn't want to control a man. She wants to be with someone who cannot be controlled. Here we come to the tragedy of the nice guy. The nice guy believes in a contract. If I am good, if I hide my dark sides, my aggression, and my true desires, if I place her needs above my own, then she will love me and never leave. This contract is fictitious. It doesn't work. Because such submissiveness is perceived by a woman not as an act of love, but as an act of weakness and manipulation. Women have an incredible radar for fakeness. When a man suppresses his self to please her, she feels that he isn't real. She feels that he is buying her favor. The nice guy gives her what she wants, externally, but deprives her of what she needs, internally. And what does she need? She needs congruence. She needs to see that a man's words align with his actions, and his actions align with his internal principles. Think about this. If you agree with a woman only because you are afraid of upsetting her, you respect neither yourself nor her. You tell her yes, while everything inside you screams no, and she feels it. She feels this softness, this spinelessness. And over time, this evokes not gratitude in her, but deep, visceral disgust. A woman doesn't need a servant. You can love a servant like a pet, but you cannot desire a servant. Sexual attraction is based on respect and a certain amount of admiration for strength. It is hard to admire someone who looks into your mouth and is afraid to take a step without a command. The nice guy thinks that by satisfying whims, he is filling her cup of love. But in reality, he is punching a hole in the bottom of that cup, because without boundaries, without structure, without a masculine core, any gifts and attention fall into the void. She receives flowers, but she doesn't feel the man behind those flowers. She gets dinner at a restaurant, but sees across from her a frightened boy waiting for a good grade. This is the great irony. A woman might want ice cream for dinner every day, but if you, as a parental figure, in the metaphorical sense of responsibility, feed her only ice cream, her health will collapse. In relationships, the role of the man is not to be a tyrant, but to be the one who understands that for the health of the couple, sometimes you need to refuse the ice cream in favor of a steak. Sometimes you need to say no to her momentary desire for the sake of the long-term good of the relationship. But to do this, you must have courage. To understand what a woman actually needs, let's turn to a metaphor that perfectly describes the interaction of male and female energy. Imagine that female energy is the ocean. The ocean is beautiful. It is full of life. It is deep. It is unpredictable. Today it is calm and gentle. Tomorrow it is a destructive storm sweeping away everything in its path. Female nature is emotional, chaotic, in a good, creative sense, and fluid. It is a flow. What does the ocean want? The ocean wants to flow. The ocean wants to rage. The ocean wants to fill all available space. But what does the ocean need so that it doesn't turn into a destructive flood destroying all life? It needs a shore. Male energy is the shore. It is the rock. It is the container. The shore does not move. The shore does not try to become water. The shore limits the ocean, giving it form. Without a shore, the ocean is just a swamp or a global flood. When a woman throws an emotional storm, screams, cries, blames, changes decisions, she, on a conscious level, might be shouting, "Go away! You don't understand me! Be as emotional as I am." But on the level of need, she is testing the shore for stability. She is crashing waves against the rock, asking one single silent question: can you handle this, or will you crumble? If a man starts to get emotionally involved, gets offended, yells back, or conversely, runs away and cries, the rock has crumbled. The shore has washed away. The ocean feels terror. Because if her power is capable of destroying the shore, it means this shore is unreliable. It means the woman is stronger than the man. And if she is stronger, she cannot feel safe next to him. What she needs in that moment is not indulgence in her hysteria. She needs presence. She needs the man to remain calm, loving, but firm. For him not to take her chaos personally. For him to say with words or his state of being, "I see you are in pain. I am here. I am not going anywhere. But I will not let you destroy us." This is containerization. This is the ability to withstand female emotions without breaking under their pressure. This is what women crave more than anything in the world. Though they can rarely articulate it, they need someone who is stronger than their own chaos. someone who can embrace their storm and say, everything is okay, and make it believable. When you give her what she wants, agreeing, apologizing when not at fault, fussing, you show her that her chaos controls you. You become water. Two waters do not create form, they create murkiness. When you give her what she needs, calmness, boundaries, firmness, you give her the opportunity to relax. She can finally stop being the man and controlling the situation because she sees there is a captain at the helm whose hands are not shaking. We move on to one of the most practical and painful points in relationships decision-making. Modern culture teaches us equality, and this is wonderful for social rights. But in the dynamics of attraction, equality often turns into indecisiveness. Do you know which question women secretly hate the most? Honey, what do you want for dinner tonight? Or where do you want to go on Friday? The man thinks he is polite. He thinks, I am giving her a choice. I am caring for her. But the woman hears something else. She hears, I don't want to take responsibility. I am shifting the mental load of planning onto you. Solve this task for me. What the woman says she wants? I want my opinion to be considered. What she needs? Leadership and liberation from the burden of decisions. The modern woman makes hundreds of decisions a day. At work, in the household, in her career. By evening, she suffers from decision fatigue. The last thing she wants when coming to her man is to be a manager again and plan leisure time. She needs to exhale. She needs someone else to take the wheel. She needs a man to say, dress nicely. At 7 p.m., we are going to a restaurant. I booked a table. Do you feel the difference? In that moment, you give her the greatest gift, the opportunity to be led, the opportunity to relax and simply enjoy the moment, knowing that everything is under control. Even if you chose a less than perfect restaurant, the very fact that you made a decision and took the risks upon yourself, what if the food is bad? Turns her on much more than a perfect dinner. She had to organize herself. A woman needs a man with a map, a man who has a plan, not just for Friday night, but for life. If you have no goal, if you are drifting with the current, asking her for directions, she will never be able to feel safe. She will start to panic and grab the steering wheel herself. And in that moment, she will stop seeing you as a man and start seeing you as a child or a passenger. And nobody wants passengers. This is perhaps the most counterintuitive part of our conversation. Women often test men, trying to bend their boundaries. They might act out, pressure, manipulate, demanding their way. She says she wants you to agree, but she needs you to be able to say no. Why? Because your no defines yourself. If you cannot say no to a woman, you cannot say no to the world to protect her. A man who always agrees has no form. He is amorphous, and you cannot lean on something amorphous, you will fall through. The paradox is that a woman does not respect a man she can easily control. As soon as she realizes she can bend you to any of her whims, her respect evaporates, and attraction disappears right after. She starts feeling like the mother of a capricious child who needs raising, not a woman next to a strong partner. She needs to run into your boundaries. She needs to hear, I love you, but I won't do that because it goes against my principles, or, no, today we are doing it differently. In the moment, she might flare up. She might get offended, or pretend to, but deep down, in her biological core, she will exhale with relief. Phew, he is solid. He doesn't bend. That means he is strong. That means I can trust him. Boundaries create the structure of a relationship. Without boundaries, relationships turn into chaos. Your ability to defend your interests, your hobbies, your time, and your dignity is exactly what makes you a valuable prize in her eyes. If you are ready to sacrifice everything for her, it means your value is zero. A woman needs a man whose approval must be earned, not one who hands it out automatically like a free flyer at the subway. Understand a simple economic truth. The price of your yes depends directly on the firmness of your no. When you agree to everything, inflation of your attention occurs, and it turns into devalued currency that interests no one. Remember that sparks of real passion are struck only by the friction of two solid characters, not when one constantly spreads like a puddle before the other. Stop being afraid of losing her because of a refusal, because it is precisely the fear of losing you, arising after your confident decision, that makes her hold on to you even tighter. There is a huge misconception about what emotional safety is. Women say, "I want to be with a man with whom I can be vulnerable," and many men interpret this as, "I must also be vulnerable, cry on her shoulder, tell her about all my fears and insecurities." Stop. Yes, modern psychology encourages male vulnerability, but there is a critical difference between vulnerability and weakness. Vulnerability is, "I am scared, but I will handle it. I am going into battle knowing the risks." Weakness is, "I am scared. Save me. I don't know what to do." A woman needs to see your humanity, but she does not need to become your therapist or mommy. She needs safety. Safety is born from the understanding that you are competent, that even if the world collapses, you will find a way out. She needs you to be the benevolent king. This is the archetype of a man who possesses power capable of destruction, but chooses to use that power for protection and creation. If you are weak and harmless, you are not virtuous. You are just harmless. A woman needs a man who can be dangerous to enemies, but who is absolutely safe and gentle with her. It is this contrast, the capacity for aggression, defending boundaries, achievements in society, and the choice of tenderness towards her that creates the most powerful attraction. She needs to feel that your tenderness is the choice of the strong, not the survival strategy of the weak. When you turn her into your shoulder to cry on, you kill sexual polarity, because a woman cannot feel attraction to someone she has to adopt. She cannot lean on a wall that itself cracks and falls under the pressure of the wind. Your task is to be a filter for the chaos of the outside world, not to broadcast that chaos directly into her heart without processing. Show her your scars as proud proof of battles survived, but never whine about fresh wounds expecting her to heal them. Only then can she afford the luxury of being soft, knowing that there is someone nearby who is hard enough to withstand any blow of fate. So, we have analyzed the conflict. Does this mean we should ignore a woman's desires and be tyrants? Absolutely not. That is the other extreme, which leads to toxicity. The secret is in the balance. The art of relationships is the ability to give a woman what she needs: structure, leadership, safety, boundaries, sometimes packaging it in what she wants: attention, care, romance. Think of it as a dance where you lead confidently and firmly, but at the same time react sensitively to every movement of your partner without stepping on her feet. She shouldn't feel suppressed by your will. She should feel protected by it, like being behind a stone wall inside of which a beautiful garden blooms. Your task is not to break her character, but to create such a safe space where she no longer needs to fight for control because she sees that the helm is in reliable hands. When she acts out and says, "I don't know what I want," don't try to guess. Give her what she needs, make a decision. When she tests your boundaries, provoking a conflict, don't give her what she wants, retaliatory aggression or apologies. Give her what she needs, calmness and firmness. This is the highest level of masculine love, being tough enough so the outside world doesn't hurt her, and soft enough so she isn't afraid of you. You must become someone who sees right through her, who sees behind her words, "Go away," a silent scream, "Stop me and hug me," who sees behind her, "I'll do it all myself," a plea, "Please help me. I'm tired of being strong." This requires high emotional intelligence. This requires work on yourself. Stop listening to words literally. Start listening to the music of her state. It is this ability to read between the lines and distinguish momentary noise from the deep melody of her soul that transforms you from an ordinary partner into the one, the only one she has subconsciously searched for all her life. Understanding the difference between want and need is the key that unlocks the door to real, deep, and passionate relationships. But this key is heavy. To turn it, you will have to kill the nice guy inside you. You will have to face your fear of conflict. You will have to learn to withstand female emotions without crumbling. This is not an easy path. It is much easier to be convenient. It is much easier to say yes, dear, and slowly fade away in a boring marriage. But if you want fire, if you want loyalty, if you want a woman to look at you with admiration and not with condescension, you must become someone who knows what she needs better than she does herself. You must become the rock. You must become the captain. You must become the one who holds the boundaries. Because ultimately, the only thing a woman really cannot forgive a man is weakness. Not physical weakness, but weakness of spirit. Abdicating your masculine essence for the sake of being good. Don't be good. Be real. Be strong. And then you will see how magically her want changes when she gets what she truly needs. Subscribe to the channel Psycheria. Here we uncover the truth, however uncomfortable it may be, because only the truth makes us free. If you are ready for transformation, welcome to the community. See you in the next video.